The man of the hour is showing face again after years of silence. Roaring Kitty has made an official appearance in social media, and it has the internet exploding. What could this mean for GME? What targets have we under our analysis? Well, let's pop open the hood for a look into tomorrow's session. Welcome back to the channel on this Happy Mother's Day. This is ARCa, and let's dive into GameStop. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to make this thing live long, thrive, and survive, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at this chart here in the 5-day time frame. Guys, GME is absolutely making a massive comeback at the moment. We have a lot of the primary influencers speaking about GME. It is absolutely looking like it could make a next leg up, and I will say that it already is, right? So if I can go ahead and take you here to the other screen, we can take a look at this, right? Take a look right over here. This is something that I just tweeted out a couple hours ago. This is GME trending above Friday's high in the 24-hour market, and this is trading at $20.88. Team, this marks off the completion of our secondary target, and that secondary target is right over here. If I can just go ahead and revert back to the 5-day time frame and take a look at this, we were already speaking of the confluence between the upper bound of the second standard deviation daily backtest of historical volatility versus stochastic momentum with the geometric $20.68. Guys, we have knocked out every single target along the way, literally from 10 to $9, where we spoke about the $11 retracement back to the $10 or $9 area, and then likely the explosion from there. And this is your $9.95 bottom, where we spoke of it. We spoke of it and on April here at the $11 target. Right, but very interesting times here, team, as the signals have continued here and the statistics are just knocking out the targets here one by one. What does this mean for tomorrow, though? Do we have continuation? I will say this: if we actually did pressure price action here to a further upside in the 5-day time frame here, you guys, this is not being read by the 24-hour market just yet. I will point out that this is likely here to push up even further into the bullish control zone. So please take a look at this in stochastic momentum, right? This was the area down here where we were talking about when we were at $11, noticing that this was a very strong zone where we have retraced from, historically speaking, right? It's a primary retracement zone where we were already making a pivot. So that's on the bi-daily chart. This is the 5-day time frame, right? So this is one of the reasons we were able to determine whether that this was about to make a huge explosion, other than the fact that we had one of the largest iterations of contraction on the bi-daily time frame. It was the third largest iteration of contraction with a pivot slightly curving at the very bottom side and a historic bottom of the stochastic momentum. So now please take a look at the current position of that stoch momentum here on the 5-day time frame, right? It is peaking above that center line, entering the bullish control zone, right? You guys, this is looking pretty good. So I'm telling you this, if it is the case, which, I mean, obviously we're looking at it right in the opposing chart here, right? You're looking at that 2088 valuation above the 2020 of Friday's high. This is likely pushing deep into that bullish control zone with continuing expansion here. And this is what we spoke of here about the 5-day volatility versus momentum backtest, team. Please remember that this is actually historical signal that we have backtested here. And let's go ahead and just kind of take a look at that, right? This is our daily. Let's just go ahead and mute or block the visibility in that. And the 5-day time frame has these statistics right here, right? So 21 total iterations where volatility has contracted into this blue zone here, which is the critical contraction zone within the 15% of volatility, and then expanded, right? So anytime that volatility has expanded from this inside of that contraction critical zone, I have taken note of every iteration where that has happened throughout the entire trading history on the 5-day time frame, and that has given us a very interesting set of data right here, right? So this is 21 total iterations, of which 16 were guessed correctly towards the upside. The 5-day time frame is giving us a 76% probability that we would get a move that is 30.78% to the upside within the span of about 101.06 days, right, team? So some of those targets here we've already kind of put up, right? That 30.78% is that upside thrust. The mean, we already have it in there. Now, the upper bounds of the first standard deviation, the second and the third have also been calculated here for our benefit, right? So now know that every single bound here would have the potential deviation of 39.33%, right? So that means that at any given moment this can pull back an average of 39%. But I mean, and we have been noticing that actually over the span of the daily chart. But yes, so this is one of the targets that we were observing here, right? So let's see, that was the either 73 or 70% on the data of the 5-day time frame. So here it is, the upper bound of the first standard deviation, 70%. That gave us a target, and there are so many targets here because we ran a daily as well. So that was your 70%. That is marking off, yeah, the $19.18 zone. The daily time frame also has its own data as well. So please notice this. This is the daily time frame backtest. This was a massive backtest here of very similar, but this criteria is a little bit different. Okay, the criteria is anytime that volatility touches, anytime that volatility touches here, the 90% of critical expansion. I have taken note of every iteration historically on the daily time frame here. This would be the daily right here, where that has happened, right, all throughout its entire trading history. So all of these iterations here were marked off manually, and this is how systems work. This is how real traders make their moves here, team. It's data driven, right? This is the way the smart money trades. Their systems are literally counting every iteration here, counting every single value that you get for higher probability moves. These are statistics. They're not discretion. It's not me telling you that it's going to go there. It's not my opinion that it's going to go there. It's me telling you that we have an 84.95% probability with total iterations marking 93 total in the daily, and correct. 79 out of those 93 were proven correct for a move that we would get as an upside thrust of 20.01%. We already knocked it out right over here at that $19.23. Right there, team, right? So actually the earlier moves, right, $13. So now we have the upper bound of the first, second, and third. So the 72 spot 97, that's your 73, $19.23 for the upper bound of the third standard deviation, right? So that met that target there, and we found confluence with the geometrics of 2068, and now we are above it. Massive times here, team. We are now above it. So now we're going to use the data from the 5-day time frame for continuation. The upper bound of the second standard deviation on the 5-day time frame is this right here, $22.11 to a top side of about $23.65. And then if we go up and take a look at the upper bound of the third standard deviation on the 5-day time frame, it would take us to a target confluent to $27.78 to that 272 geometric level, almost perfect. Okay, team. So these statistics, both of the time frames are leading towards absolute confluence. And not only that, is that we do have a falling wedge here and a slight wolf pattern, right, on that 3-day time frame. And that is displaying to you 3 different targets, $18 to $27 or $19 to $27 for every single target here from this massive 3-day triangle. And take a look at that, right? 19 to 27. And now the statistical targets right here, 19 to what? 27.78. My goodness. So that is currently what's happening here to you. Now that we've knocked out the $20.88 target of the 1.618 golden mean, the next resistance levels would be $22.11 to $22.11 to about $23.65. If not, if this thing really decides to rip based on the sentiment, we could even see a rip all the way to $27.78, where there's confluence with the 2.272 Fibonacci ratio. Okay, team. So please be very careful, as this is extremely powerful. and there could be a massive upside here. Not speaking just because of the Roaring Kitty thing, but also because this is a critical support area that was used for a huge bounce into that. Well, I mean, this was the resistance level right here, right, that we used before the asset ended up reaching that $580 level or 500 top back in 2021, right? So now, of course, we have dilution. So this thing actually, the split made that 580 or 500 top, whatever it was, now $120, right? So yes, there is absolutely more room for this asset to run. So please be wise. Please be very careful as we are now switching this range here into a potential support conversion. Okay, 18, 19 bucks to around $20. This is now a new acting support, and we would really have to maintain this, right? Here are your supports now, right? 1944, just about 1944. It is important that we keep these as this area here, right, where these wicks are. Now that we're moving above it, got to keep these wicks here in order for us to continue on to the upside for new highs. All right, team. So please be very careful in the financial markets. I do have other targets, but I'm not comfortable to talk to you about them just yet. We will go ahead and calculate these as we go. So remember, team, that I'm still offering the beginners charting and trading, right? The session here, ArcMastersCourse at Gmail. Make sure to get yourself signed up because I'm going to be closing enrollment here I think in about a week or so, because we are already getting the seats kind of taken here. So please remember, get in touch with me for the beginners trading program at ArcMastersCourse at Gmail. I have consolidated that 18-week program down to about a 4 to 5 week lecture program, okay, a mentorship. So please get in touch with me for the beginners mentorship, and we will get you enrolled and ready to go. All right, team. So I think that is pretty good for the video here. All right, team. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 ever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good rest of your night and or day, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, team. Oh, yeah.